The most regular qualifier from the Balkan region in the last 20 or so years is Croatia. They have reached 5 of the last 6 World Cups, including Russia 2018, being the only Balkan nation to do so. Croatia missed out on the 2010 World Cup in South Africa, which was considered a low point for Croatian football, but it's the only one they've missed since playing as an independent nation, dating back to their first ever appearance in 1998, where they went on a run to the 3rd place finish. Since then, however, in 2002, 2006, and 2014, Croatia has failed to progress past the group stage and have failed to live up to the same standards set by the storied 1998 side, which sort of lives on in legend in Croatian footballing history. Croatia will still feel decent about their chances of progressing through the group this year, when, coincidentally, the last time they progressed was when they had Argentina in their group back in 1998, and they have Argentina in their group this time, along with Nigeria and Iceland, whom Croatia played in 2018 UEFA World Cup qualifying. On the main international scene in the last couple of decades, Croatia has been consistently not just perhaps the best Balkan national team, but one of the best Eastern European national teams have to offer. Now, let's take a look at their qualifying group for Russia 2018. Croatia finished in 2nd behind Iceland with 20 points, 6 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 15 goals scored, and 4 conceded. But they could have qualified directly if they had not dropped points in their last home game on matchday 9 against Finland, when a late equalizer denied them the opportunity to clinch a spot in the World Cup directly. They went on to win on the road 2-0 away to Ukraine, but because Iceland had defeated Kosovo at home in their last match, they finished ahead of Croatia by a couple of points. And if not for that equalizer, they would have won that match at home against Finland and finished just above Iceland on goal difference. But they still clinched a spot in the playoffs when they trounced Greece 4-1 on aggregate. And indeed, since qualifying for the first time in 1998, Croatia has never lost a World Cup qualifying playoff fixture. Seems to be really their territory. A fun fact is they have quite a bit of history with Iceland, whom they eliminated in 2014 qualifying in the playoff round, had them this time in their qualifying group, and now have them in their World Cup group, and they play each other on the last match day in Group D. Taking a look at Croatia's recent performance in latest friendlies since qualifying against Greece through the playoffs, they have gone up against Peru, where they lost 2-0, defeated Mexico 1-0, lost to Brazil 2-0, and defeated Senegal 2-1. Might this suggest a little bit of a weakness against South American sides? We have to remember they are friendlies after all, and the World Cup is an entirely different stage with much more on the line. I do have a feeling that they can, well, are more than able of getting a result against Argentina, they who must not be named. Looking at the squad, goalkeepers Daniel Subasic, we know him from Monaco, Lovre Kalinic, Dominik Ljokovic. Defenders Vedran Čorluka, Domagoj Vida, he plays for Besiktas. Čorluka, if I remember correctly, was in the last World Cup as well. Ivan Strinic, Dejan Lovren, Liverpool, yes. Simi Vrsaljko, I don't know if I'm pronouncing the names correctly. Josip Pivaric, Tin Jedvaj, Matav Mitrovic, Duje Kalesta Kar. Midfielders Luka Modric, and this is really the money pot here. Luka Modric, Ivan Rakitic, Mateo Kovacic, Milan Bedelj, Marcelo Brozovic, and Filip Bradovic. Damn, that is quite a stunning midfield. I know that Croatia is notorious for perpetually producing some of the best midfields in international football, especially in recent years, but that is a very strong midfield lineup that I just read. Forwards, Mario Mandzukic, Ivan Perisic, Nikola Kalinic, Andrej Kamaric, Marco Piazza, and Ante Rebic. And it is no secret that many of these Croatian individuals premiere for some of the top clubs in Europe: Juventus, Real Madrid, Liverpool, Milan, even some in divisions in Belgium and in Austria as well. So Croatia, whenever they get to a major tournament, they're a side that many peg as dark horses. I think that in World Cups, and especially European tournaments, Croatia are usually given the label of dark horses. I don't think I've ever come across a team, especially in World Cups, that are branded as such as much as Croatia. And their reputation supersedes them. It rightfully so. It's a talented squad who, on their best day, can beat anybody in the world. And we saw this put on display in Euro 2016 when they topped their group, when they defeated Spain on the final match day of Group D of Euro 2016. They did so after coming from behind over the reigning European champions, the two-time European champions, and Croatia won the group with 7 points before they were dumped out in the round of 16 against eventual champions Portugal. But that match required extra time to put the Blazers, the Vatreni, away. Now, having said all that, those are the positives. Let's look at some of the negatives. Some of the negatives is that Croatia underachieves. In World Cups, they've not gotten past the first round in 20 years when they should have most times that they premiered. They've been better in European championships than they have in World Cups since 1998. They got to the quarterfinals of Euro 2008, the round of 16 in Euro 2016. Euro 2012, I think they get a pass because they were in a very difficult group with Spain and Italy, who we know were the eventual finalists of that tournament, and Croatia came very close to getting to the quarterfinals on the final match day. But for the most part, Croatia, and some people might not like this, but they follow the typical Balkan nation trend of not performing to the highest level of their capability in major international tournaments. And it's not necessarily a matter of opinion. The results speak for themselves. You know, they finished with 3 points in the 2002 World Cup. They did not advance from a 2006 World Cup that they absolutely should have gotten through. That contained an albeit very good Australian team, but still. They played Brazil to a very narrow 1-0 loss. They had Japan in their group. They should have advanced in 2006. 2010 did not even qualify. 2014, they probably were screwed in that opener against Brazil. I remember watching that match, the scandalous penalty that was awarded. Probably should have gotten at least a draw from that game, but then after thrashing Cameroon 4-0, they went on to be thrashed by Mexico 3-1, and then they finished with 3 points in that group, well behind both Brazil and Mexico, who had 7 points each. So Croatia in World Cups, they still very much are a side that lives in the shadow of that team from 1998, and they're going to be looking to finally advance past the group stage again for the first time since then. They can absolutely do it. I mean, they are a side that will tear you apart in the middle of the pitch if you try to approach them as equals. It's just a matter of, can they finally add another chapter to their history that goes beyond 1998 And that remains to be seen. So we'll just have to see.